Hi, I'm Erica Bottger, AccuQuilt's creativity expert, and I'm here to show you how to use the free embroidery we have available to work with the Go Paper Doll and Go Paper Doll clothes dies, both by TipStitched. Now this embroidery is available as a free download at AccuQuilt.com. It's available in all the major formats. You've got 3 basic outline stitches to choose from. You've got a blanket stitch, a motif stitch, and a satin stitch. Let's take a look at what those look like. So we've got some examples of the satin stitch. Here's some blanket stitch, the motif stitch, and of course they're available with all the different outfits as well. Aren't those great? All right, so let me move these over here. Now the first step is to be sure you're logged into your AccuQuilt account. Once you're logged in, you can click on Add to Downloads on the free embroidery page. From there, go up to the top of the page and click on Download Library. I suggest that you download the embroidery and save the format that your machine will use to your computer. Now, with this embroidery design, you'll also want to take a look at the instruction document that comes along with the embroidery. Now, this is great to follow step by step. And this is also going to give you the outfit and hair choices so you can put it all together. Then what you want to do is simply load the embroidery you want to use onto your flash drive and you'll be all ready to go. So I have done that already. I've got my embroidery machine all set up. The next thing you'll want to do is go ahead and get your stabilizer and your background fabric into your hoop. Now you need a large hoop for this project, 180 or by 200 or 7 by 12 inches hoop for this design. So I've grabbed my big hoop. Now we also offer a variety of stabilizers on our website, so be sure to check those out. I like to give my stabilizer a little spray of quilt basting spray at this point just to keep the two of them together before I put them in the hoop, especially when I'm embroidering onto anything that has stretch, like t-shirts or sweatshirts, and I can see a lot of great options for doing that with these dies. Now we also offer some different fusible products, and the next step would be ironing the fusible onto the back of the fabric that you want to cut your shapes from. Now I have already cut out some doll shapes, some of the hair options, and some clothes. If you want to see how I did this, Pam and I made a great video on how to make a project with these dies, and you can take a look at that, and that'll show you exactly how to do that cutting. But we're now going to be ready to move on to embroidery. So the first thing that your embroidery machine is going to do is stitch out an outline stitch. Now, you're always going to go from the bottom up. So your embroidery is going to start with the body. So we're going to go ahead and stitch out the outline stitch to fuse down our body shape. Let's get started. Okay, now we've got our first outline stitch stitched down. That's going to show us exactly where to place that first shape. So let me go ahead and get that done. I'm going to place my hoop on a pressing mat over here. Peel the back of my fusible off of my shape and get this matched up just perfectly. Now I'm also going to take my little shovel iron and fuse down those edges. I love using the little shovel iron for this. It's so easy to work with inside of the hoop. Okay, we've got our shape fused down. Now we're going to go back to our embroidery machine. Okay, so now I want to point a couple of things out. The first is that I have purposely chosen some dark contrasting threads so that you can see these stitches. But as you'll notice in lots of our samples, we use thread that matched the skin tone so that you don't notice those stitches. So just know that I have done this so that it'll show up really well for you on camera. Now the next thing is that your machine is going to stop in between steps so that you can change out your thread colors if you want to keep them matching with the different parts of your design. And the third thing I want to point out is that it isn't a mistake that we don't have stitching all over the shape. So the decorative stitch will only go where it's going to show. This section is going to be covered by the dress, this section by the hair. It's not going to lay down those decorative stitches for you so you don't have any lumps and bumps underneath your shapes. So now we're going to go back onto the machine. It's going to do the placement stitch for the next piece that we're going to place. Okay, now we've got our placement stitch for both the hair and the dress. So I'm going to put this back on my pressing mat and go ahead and fuse those two shapes on before we go back to the machine. We've got our pieces fused on and she's looking pretty cute. Now back to the embroidery machine. And we're all done. Let's take a look. Here is our finished paper doll. Now again, I used a dark contrasting thread so the stitches would show up for you, but you can totally change this out with any look, any color that you would want. Use all those different stitches and think about all the different ways that you can embellish this even further. Maybe with some more decorative stitches on the clothing, adding lace, ribbons, and more. Now I know you're gonna love working with the Go Paper Doll and Go Paper Doll Closed Dies by TipStitched. And you're gonna come up with so many great ways to use them and projects to add them to. Because here at AccuQuilt, we help you cut time so you can quilt and embroider more.